Hey everyone, it's Manu here. I thought I'd start this new series of videos where I just ramble about my past and what I've done and stuff like that. And this would be the first one of the series. As you can see from my hat, the beret, and from the title of this video, today I'll talk about army. I was in the army in 2012 for 6 months. Around 60% of Finnish guys go to the army. So it's not obligatory, but still most of the people go there. But the numbers are decreasing each year. More and more people are choosing the civil service instead of the army. I was there, like I said, for 6 months, and I was in a city called Keuru. There I was in this CBRN subdivision. It's a division of the engineering branch. CBRN stands for chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. Let's see what the internet has to say about my subdivision. In addition to combat skills, conscripts receive versatile training in CBRN and the rescue sector, preparing them for chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats. The training provides the knowledge and practical skills required in CBRN intelligence, firefighting, and rescue and decontamination tasks. The latest equipment is in use, such as decontamination vehicles and containers, rescue and CBRN intelligence vehicles, and personal firefighting and protective clothing. CBRN training includes, for example, a firefighting and rescue course that yields a certificate equivalent to that of the Finnish Central Organization for the Public Safety Sector. In addition, training is given in smoke diving and first aid. Eyeglasses are not desirable, but they are not a non-negotiable obstacle for serving as a CBRN specialist. Conscripts chosen to be trained as CBRN officers return to the engineer regiment after the reserve officer course to practice as CBRN platoon leaders and CBRN officers at the headquarters. And yeah, this sounds about right of what the whole experience was. It was a tight and tough 6 months, to say the least. In CBRN, I ended up to be like a helper guy. I don't know the word in English, sorry. For the platoon leader. So I was the Range Rover, no, not Range Rover, Land Rover rider for him. And also I wrote down everything that I had to in the missions, and I was also working this message receiving thing called Sanomalaite, Sanla. It's a really classic equipment of the Finnish army. I think it's known outside the borders as well. It's ancient technology, but it's supposed to be safe to use. So what did I think of the 6 months there? Well, I wasn't fond of going to the army. I guess most of the people don't go there voluntarily. They just go there because of the social pressure, and people think that it's kind of like a thing you have to do. I think it's because of the pride and homage we feel towards the soldiers that protected our country in the Second World War and in Winter War we had with Russia. But afterwards, in hindsight, I would say that it was a fantastic experience. The things you do and experience in the army, you won't have those kind of experience and ever outside the army. I mean, you could take first aid and combat skills and firing a gun, but first of all, this is for free. And I mean, we people are so lazy that we just don't get up of our asses and take these courses. But the whole experience is the main point. It's supposed to, I guess it's supposed to feel like you're in the middle of war. You can't be in contact with people like you want to. You can't have your cell phone with you 24/7. You have to be in the forest, in camps, for a week straight. And it's supposed to make you feel bad and supposed to put you stressed. They are testing your limits. And sometimes it went almost to unbearable limits. I mean, you didn't get that much sleep, sometimes like 2 or 3 hours per night. You have to wake up each morning so early. You also have a lot of practices, PE, teamwork, and a lot of handful skills as well, like ER as mentioned, and some how did I put it, like self-defense training. I'm not a fan of the idea of army. I'm in that way a humanist, and I believe that we can build a future without war and more peace. It's not gonna be like a snap and it's all gone, but in some way it feels unnecessary to keep obligatory army. It's like we are afraid of the future. I don't know what I'm rambling about now, but please bear with me. I have a lot of things to say, but it doesn't come out so naturally from me. Maybe I should do one of these in Finnish if you like to hear a foreign speech. So what else? Well, I could tell about some horrible memories and good memories. I think the worst one was this camp. I think it was a 4-day camp in the forest nearby. It was in the winter and it was so cold. It was around minus 30 degrees Celsius, which is, I guess, something like minus 20 or minus 30 Fahrenheit. And we skied there with our heavy backpacks. We had a lot of gunfire in. We had almost 0 hours of sleep per night. We had to be in these bunkers for, well, I was there one night 4 hours straight in the bunkers looking for the enemy line. Nothing happened, but you just have to be there. It's moments like that that feel really pointless. You are so cold. Also, if you have just been in the tent and there is fire, you start to melt. All those ice from your clothes start to melt, and also your sweat. You are so wet, and then when you go out, you start to freeze. It's not a nice feeling to have. Moment to moment, time to time, I was so cold. When I skied back from there, I had a couple of my fingers starting to turn black from the fingertips. It wasn't that bad, but of course I was afraid because I'm a pianist. I like to call myself pianist. But eventually it turned out well, and the blackness went away in a couple of months. But the worst part of that camp was the water, because we all have these water bottles and we keep them next to our skin so it wouldn't froze. But of course it freezes when it's so cold. It's so annoying to have this water bottle full of ice and you are just so thirsty. And I actually passed out for a second there because I was so in need of water. But then we had dinner there and we had some warm juice. Oh, I miss that juice and the feeling when you have been like the whole day outside, then you get warm juice. It gives you those carbohydrates to carry on the day. And the taste wasn't that bad either. But of course everything tastes better when you haven't been getting all those candies you would when you are not in the army. All those sweets. The best thing, of course, in the army was the cafeteria. We call it sotku, which is a familiar name for sotilaskoti, and that in English is a soldier home or something like that. And there is this lovely lady serving you Coke and coffee and sweet buns. And you could get there only after, I guess it was only after 5 p.m. when you are on the platoon. place itself, in the army. And there we were with friends, drinking and eating and playing pool, having good time, sometimes watching movies. Of course, the people there are an important part of the experience, and you are supposed to get this brotherly love with the people, this team spirit. And it really was that. I mean, first few weeks was a bit odd because you are put in the same room with 9 other people to sleep and to spend 24/7 of your time. But you have to bear, and then eventually you start to love those people. Of course, now I don't keep in touch with a lot of people from there. I keep in touch with my group leader. He was such a nice guy. He had been living in Spain and studying in Oxford. Really cool guy. And of course some other people, time to time, talk to me on Facebook saying like, what's up and stuff like that. I think that eventually we will get a meet up with the people who were living in the same room for most of that 6 months. It's crazy to think that it's only a couple years back that this happened. Now I barely remember the whole experience. But when I start to try to remember it, all these crazy moments from there come to my mind. It starts to feel sentimental. Slowly. But this was me talking about army. Next time I could be maybe talking about my exchange in the Netherlands, if you would be interested in that. But thank you for listening, and sorry if I rambled too much, and sorry for my vocabulary, which isn't the best, but I hope you understood what I was trying to say. But see you later, and bye bye.